Tonight, a political firestorm is brewing. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, one of California's most powerful politicians, is accused of lying about Donald Trump and the Capitol Riot. And tonight, McCarthy is speaking out and he's doubling down. KCAL9 political reporter Tom Wade is here live with more on this controversy.
Yeah, absolutely, Pat. You said it. It's a firestorm that is brewing. And in telephone conversations recordings just released, you can hear McCarthy talking about telling Trump to resign after the Capitol siege. McCarthy, first tonight, he said it, calling the reporting totally false and wrong. Tonight, he's trying to get out of that firestorm.
I know. I spoke to him twice today. I just spoke to him an hour ago.
That's GOP House Minority Leader and Bakersfield Congressman Kevin McCarthy after a public appearance tonight talking about conversations he's had with former President Donald Trump. Those conversations today coming after recordings were leaked of McCarthy days after the January 6th insurrection, where he spoke about recommending Trump resign.
What they said we did, we never did. I mean, I never asked President Trump to resign. We both talked about that.
Authors of the new book, This Will Not Pass, have released a series of clips of McCarthy's phone calls with fellow Republicans from the days after the insurrection. In one call, McCarthy expressed frustration with the former president.
I've had it with this guy. What he did is unacceptable. Nobody can defend that, and nobody should defend it.
In another, McCarthy said he was considering asking Trump to resign.
It would be my recommendation he should resign. I mean, that would be my take, but I don't think he would take it.
Friday night, McCarthy said he never actually made the recommendation to Trump.
Let me be very clear. I have never asked the president to resign. So what the book said was not true. I never asked the president to resign.
McCarthy also told fellow House Republicans that Trump acknowledged some blame for the Capitol attack.
He told me he does have some responsibility for what happened. And he needs to acknowledge that.
So will there be fallout? In McCarthy's initial denial, he said the reporting was totally false and wrong, which clearly is not true.
The problem isn't so much that he lied, it's that he did it badly.
Professor of politics at Claremont McKenna College, Jack Pitney.
I expect his critics are taking careful notes. I think that there will be a lot of conversations behind closed doors in Washington, D.C. But when it comes up in public, my guess is he'll try to deflect.
Recent polls are predicting solid gains for the GOP in the upcoming midterms, and McCarthy has his sights set on House Speaker.
It's very likely that the Republicans are going to take control of the House. Even if they have just a modest gain of seats, they're going to take control of the House. The question is, once that happens, will he have the support to become Speaker? He may have rivals within the Republican Party.
After initially blasting then-President Trump for helping to incite the riot, McCarthy traveled to Mar-a-Lago to make nice with President Trump. Back to you, Pat.
All right. Thanks so much, Tom.